I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it just gets everywhere. But when your tan base plate just looks too boring or isn't convincing enough to be a desert, sand can really come in handy.
I mixed all three of these colors of Play-Doh. They're not really Play-Doh, but clay, and I'm going to spread it out here. And I've got some sand, which I'm going to spread out on top. So let's get started. Now, since I'm using sand, obviously, for the desert or Tatooine, then it definitely limits the amount of Lego to use. But there is actually Lego in every shot, not including the characters. You just can't tell it's Lego. And an example of that would be the sky. Now, the sky is not what you see here. This is actually blue wrapping paper, but it's obviously a darker blue than the blue you see later on, and that's because I blue screened it. So the actual sky that you're seeing is really made of Lego. This is the sky. And I actually built all these pieces together that I got from the Lego store from Pick-a-Brick, and the sunset, of course, I built it. And the reason it doesn't look Lego is because I used it as a different layer. So I took a single picture of the sky and I used it as a different layer so that I can blue screen the normal setting and the sky layer would be behind it. And what I did was that I blurred it out so it would look more like sky. So the sky, the whole time you're seeing it, it's actually built from Lego. It's just blurred out, so you can't see any of the lines and it looks like actual sky. So, I don't know if this is going to start a lot of controversy or anything like that, but I might as well talk about it because I don't know, I just have a feeling that some people might be confused about why I used Mega Blocks and I mixed the Mega Blocks with the Lego when I filmed this. Now, some people might be wondering, like, why didn't you just build it all in Lego? And that's really because of the feel I get from these particular pieces. So let me explain that. These pieces in particular, these type of pieces, And like any of the mega blocks I got really early on are from, most of them are from these giant mega block ships. And the first time I saw these pieces, for some reason, like, they didn't remind me of it. Like, I guess they could give a sort of pirate feel to them, but I don't know why. It's just I look at these, and the first thing that I imagined when I first got these pieces was Jabba's palace. They they just looked, because like Jabba's palace, it's supposed to be dirty, it's supposed to be rough, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's something that you would imagine a giant slug living in. I mean, and I just love these window pieces, like the shape of them. I don't know. And the thing is, with actual Lego, it's always going to be a solid color. And with these pieces, they give a little texture to it that they just stand out like more like wood. Now, I'm not saying that Mega Bloks are more visually appealing than Lego. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that these work more for the feel that I wanted to give this film, the feel that I wanted to give Jabba's palace. And that is why I used these pieces. And it's just what I wanted it to turn out like. I mean, I wanted to use these pieces to my advantage, and I think it worked out pretty well, and I hope you guys agree. So that is why I used Mega Bloks and mixed them into Lego for Jabba's palace. So these are the droids from GONK a Jawa story. Now for the GONK droid, obviously I didn't have an actual GONK droid, so I had to get the actual container piece and build one myself. And for the front piece, what I did, and what I also did for EV99, is I used, let's see, this sticker book. So I basically got a sticker for the GONK droid, and I had to cut it up and put the part that I wanted onto the Lego. And for EV99, now I could have built it more like the actual version, but I wanted to change things up, and I put an upside down visor since his forehead's kind of big, and the sticker was actually bigger than the actual Lego, so that's part of why I didn't put it on an actual head. So that's what I did for there. And I also used the smaller stickers for the different papers that you see in the film. When the stormtrooper asks the Jawa for the droids, and each go back and forth with the papers. So that's what I did. And yeah, I mean, most of these droids are pretty self-explanatory for building. The treadwell droid was kind of last minute, and the only treads I could find were like this green color, so I just went with it. The Bomar Monk was supposed to only be in one scene, which is the beginning scene, but I kind of liked it too much, so I put it in the other scene where the droids were escaping. Well, when they were about to escape anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The Droids of GONK, a Jawa story. Alright guys, so there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and that of course is the Dewback. So I did have the option of actually using a Lego version because my brother had a Lego version, and if you can see them side by side here. So I did have that option. So as you can see here, I could have used the Lego version, especially since most of the movements were with the jaw, and the Lego version, as you can see, the jaw does do, it does have movement, so I could have definitely used this version, but the reason I didn't go for that, and if I did use the Lego version of the Dewback, then it would have made it more Lego, because as I said before in the sky segment, with all this sand here, it definitely limits the amount of Lego on the screen, and it looks less and less like a brick film. Even when the sky is made of Lego, it's blurred out, so you don't see as much of the Lego that's actually there. And if I did use the Lego Dewback, it would obviously put more Lego onto the screen. So why did I use the clay version? Well, because the clay version, I wasn't thinking of Lego and that aspect at the time, because I still knew the characters were going to be made of Lego. There would still be other parts of the film that is Lego or brick built or brick toy based, basically. But the reason I went for this is essentially for the film, because I think of the film first, and the film always comes first for me. Of course, this is for a contest, so I have to keep that in mind as well. But essentially, the film comes first, and I really wanted to put a lot of movement and make the Dewback seem more alive. As you can see with the Lego version, the jaw moves and that's it. There isn't much movement. And even if it's slight movement, I wanted to give more depth to that. I want it to seem more like it was a living creature, and that I could move a little more. I could move the eyes, the head a little bit if I wanted to. Even if they were slight movements, I just thought it would give it more depth, more realism. It would seem like the Dewback is more alive instead of this still version. Plus the look of it, it just looks more real in the clay, in my opinion. I don't know, more like the scaly, slimy version than something made of plastic. And that is why I went with this clay model. Thank you for watching the making of GONK, a Jawa story. If you haven't yet seen GONK, a Jawa story, the link is in the description below.